On the Sichuan continent, in the bustling streets of Qinghe City of the Yugua Empire, whispers of danger spread like wildfire. Did you hear? The remnants of the Wuji sect have appeared here. Another bystander chimed in. Yeah, I've heard. They hunt ordinary people like us, using blood and flesh for their demonic arts. Freaking monsters! Though someone tried to reassure the crowd, their voice faltering with forced bravado. Relax. Righteous cultivators are here. Those bastards won't last long. Amid the growing murmurs, a mysterious man passed by silently. He stopped, his hat shadowing his face, before turning slightly to glance at the crowd. A grim smile tugged at his lips, tinged with bitterness and resignation, as he muttered, "Looks like I can't stay here for long. Those bastards have been hunting me for over a year now." Meet Chu Xian, a former inner disciple of the Wuji sect, now a fugitive. His story wasn't always steeped in blood and betrayal. When he first transmigrated to the Sichuan continent, he had nothing, no family, no connections, and only mediocre cultivation talent. But Chu Xian wasn't one to accept mediocrity. Through sheer grit and ruthless determination, he clawed his way into the Wuji sect, the largest and strongest sect in Yugua. To survive, he mastered everything: worm cultivation, poison arts, disguise, corpse puppetry, you name it. After years of relentless effort, he finally reached the chi refining stage, poised to be accepted as an inner disciple by the sect elders. But fate had other plans. Out of nowhere, the first ancestor of the sect went mad and perished, leaving the Wuji sect vulnerable. The 5 major orthodox sects pounced, branding them a demonic cult and slaughtering them mercilessly. The Wuji sect was obliterated, its disciples massacred. The few survivors, like Chu Xian, were now hunted like animals. Back in the present, Chu Xian leaned against the shadowy wall, his hat falling to the ground as a wave of pain hit him. His voice was strained, trembling with desperation, his hand clutching his chest. The blood transformation and soul seizure art. It needs so much blood essence, feeding the worms flesh and blood. If I don't get resources soon, the backlash will kill me. His bloodshot eyes flickered with desperation, but he gritted his teeth, pushing himself forward. A cold resolve filled his gaze. Today, he was going to meet someone, a surviving junior disciple, his only hope to replenish his resources. He turned back to a bar behind him and spotted a figure cloaked in blue sitting alone. The figure seemed to shift uneasily as Chu Xian approached. With a nervous smile, the junior disciple greeted him cautiously. "Brother Chu Xian, you're finally here. You don't look well. Are you alright?" Chu Xian's gaze was cold, his piercing eyes betraying no emotion as he cut straight to the point. "Have you brought the items?" The junior brother hesitated, glancing around nervously, his hands trembling slightly. "Brother, you're still practicing our sex techniques? If the orthodox sects find out, you're dead." Chu Xian's expression darkened, a sharp edge cutting through his words as he replied, his tone icy and laced with frustration. "They've already sentenced us to death. Whether I cultivate demonic arts or not, what difference does it make?" The junior disciple's hands fumbled as he handed over a bag of demon beast blood beads, their crimson glow reflecting in Chu Xian's eyes. But then, a chill ran down his spine. His instincts screamed at him, his body tensing as he discreetly activated his listening technique. The tiny snail embedded in his ear came alive, and what he heard sent a surge of cold fury through him. "Using a traitor to lure out these Wuji stragglers. It never fails. Once we capture him, strip him of his belongings and drain him dry, we'll be rich." Betrayal. Chu Xian's knuckles turned white as he clenched the beads, his calm exterior masking the storm brewing within. His voice, controlled and deceptively steady, sliced through the tension. "Junior brother, I need blood spirit pills too. Do you have them?" The disciple smirked arrogantly, emboldened by his treachery, and tossed out a taunt. "Those are expensive. Can you even afford them, senior brother?" He flicked a middle-grade spirit stone at him. "Seeing how sincere you are, I'll trust you this time." The two walked off together, with the ambushers lurking in the shadows, their laughter dripping with malice. Their leader sneered, rubbing his hands together. "We've caught a big fish today." Deep inside an underground temple, Chu Xian led his junior brother further into the tunnels. The air grew colder, and a sinister silence settled around them. The junior disciple's eyes darted about nervously, his voice shaky as he stammered. "Senior brother, this place is flawless. But how much longer do we?" His words were cut short as Chu Xian spun around abruptly. His crimson eyes burned with malevolence, his lips curling into a grin that sent a wave of terror through his traitorous companion. Chu Xian's voice dropped to a deadly whisper, every word laced with venom. "If you're in such a hurry, junior brother, why don't I accompany you?" The next moment was a blur. A sickening crack echoed through the temple as Chu Xian's strike sent the traitor hurtling through the air, crashing into the stone floor in a bloodied heap. Outside, the ambushers froze in shock, their confidence replaced by confusion and fear. "What's going on?" the leader barked, his voice trembling. The junior disciple, barely clinging to life, pointed a trembling finger, his voice barely audible. "Downstairs. Chu Xian is downstairs. Don't let him escape." The ambushers charged into the temple, their weapons drawn, but they were met with a grisly sight. A shriveled corpse lay before them, its skin peeled away, the twisted remnants of what was once their ally. Their leader staggered back, his face pale as he whispered in terror. This is Helium? We've been tricked. Retreat." Outside Qinghe City, Chu Xian removed his human leather mask, his face twisting in disgust at the slimy texture. His voice was laced with both disdain and satisfaction as he muttered, "Uncomfortable, as always. But thanks to my listening bugs, I saw through their betrayal." Tossing the mask aside, his gaze hardened, a storm of determination brewing within. "Even if I escape today, I can't run forever. Joining the orthodox sects isn't an option. Their techniques would cripple my cultivation. Only demonic arts can give someone like me a chance at immortality." Later, in a glowing cave, Chu Xian examined his spoils, his hands trembling with anticipation. Among them was a mysterious artifact from the Wuji sect's treasure vault. As he activated it, a vision of a ruined, apocalyptic city appeared, sending a jolt of shock through him. "Why does this look like Earth? My Earth, but destroyed. What the hell happened?" Before he could react, the artifact pulled him in, and he stumbled into the desolate wasteland, his eyes widening in horror at the scene before him, a zombie gnawing on a corpse. "Zombies? What the hell is this?" The undead swarmed him, their groans chilling his blood, but Chu Xian's survival instincts roared to life. Blood-red worms erupted from his hands, slicing through the zombies with savage precision. He watched in stunned amazement as the worms thrived on the zombies' flesh, a twisted hope igniting within him. "Wait, could zombies count as living beings? If I use their flesh and blood to cultivate my techniques and feed the worms?" His dark grin returned, his heart pounding with exhilaration as the worms feasted. "This entire city, no, this entire planet will become my resource pool. Killing zombies won't provoke heavenly punishment. I can cultivate freely. I can finally pursue what I never dared dream of before. Immortality." As more zombies charged toward him, Chu Xian stood tall, his blood worms writhing in anticipation. His voice was calm but resolute, filled with unshakable determination. Eternal life, no matter the cost. On a mountain of rotting zombie corpses, Chu Xian stood tall, his long robe stained with blood and his crimson eyes gleaming with satisfaction. A grin tugged at his lips as he declared, "In just a short while, I've broken through from the 4th to the 5th layer of chi refining. This place truly is a holy land for cultivating demonic arts." Below him, weak zombies aimlessly shuffled, searching for prey. Chu Xian glanced down at them, unimpressed. However, personally hunting down zombies to absorb their energy is too damn troublesome. It's time to try refining summoned corpses to do the work for me. He rubbed his temple and sighed, his disdain evident. But refining corpses requires strong bodies filled with deep resentment as the material. Only then will the refined corpses have good potential. His gaze returned to the pathetic zombies beneath him. Their sluggish movements and empty eyes annoyed him. These guys? Worthless trash. Impossible to work with. Straightening his posture, he crossed his arms behind his back in a commanding Napoleon pose and announced, "Oh well, for now, I'll use this place as a temporary base. In such a large mall, I should be able to find new suitable targets." The scene shifted to a bespectacled man, his face pale with fear, surrounded by a horde of hungry zombies. He screamed desperately, "Tiger bro, please save me!" His eyes darted to a blonde man standing smugly on the upper floor, clutching a bag of supplies. "Didn't you say that as long as I distracted the zombies, you'd come save me once you finished collecting the resources? My mom and sister still need me. I can't die here." But the blonde man's response was anything but sympathetic. With a wicked smile, he taunted, "Oh dear, I think I forgot to tell you. Your mom died yesterday. How could the Lingquan gang waste resources on a 60-year-old woman?" The bespectacled man froze in disbelief, his voice trembling. "What did you say?" The blonde man shrugged nonchalantly, turning to leave. "Thank you for sacrificing your life for me. After you die, I'll take care of your sister." The bespectacled man screamed in despair as the zombies closed in, ripping into his flesh. With his dying breath, he cursed, "Tang Hu, you'll definitely receive your retribution." But Tang Hu, the blonde man, only chuckled darkly as he dashed off with his supplies. "Humph, what retribution? The rules of this world have always been survival of the fittest." Unbeknownst to him, someone was watching. From the shadows, Chu Xian observed the scene with a calculating gaze. A twisted plan formed in his mind as he muttered to himself. Wait a moment, this man's physique is quite impressive. Perfect material for refining a corpse. Tang Hu stopped in his tracks, sensing danger. He turned to see Chu Xian standing eerily still, his strange outfit and aura instantly filling him with unease. Pulling out a dagger, Tang Hu snarled. Who the hell are you? Chu Xian's lips curled into a sinister smile. I mean, your physique is quite good. You'll make a fine servant for me. Tang Hu's face twisted in anger. You're courting death, he roared, lunging at Chu Xian with his dagger. But before the blade could reach its target, a red flash sliced through the air. Tang Hu stumbled back in shock, staring at his broken dagger. The source? A bloodworm, writhing and biting the blade into pieces. Tang Hu clutched his bleeding palm, his confidence shattered. Fear crept into his voice as he thought. This man, he can control insects? Is he a transcendent being too? There's no way I can beat him. Quickly shifting tactics, Tang Hu put on his most charming smile. My brother-in-law is Zhao Hong of the Lingquan gang. For his sake, let me go. You can even have this bag of supplies. Chu Xian raised a brow, unimpressed. The Lingquan gang? Tang Hu nodded eagerly. Don't you know? The Lingquan gang is the largest organization in Dongwu City. My brother-in-law, Zhao Hong, is the leader and a transcendent. He's 10 times stronger than me. Chu Xian chuckled darkly, his voice laced with mockery. If he's only 10 times stronger than a mere mortal like you, then there's nothing to worry about. Before Tang Hu could respond, Chu Xian's bloodworms lashed out, binding him in midair. Tang Hu screamed in terror as he was dragged toward a golden ritual cauldron, surrounded by glowing red sigils and 4 skulls. Once I use my secret technique on you, Chu Xian explained coldly, you'll become a sturdy corpse soldier. Tang Hu thrashed against the bloodworms, his voice breaking. Wait. We have no enmity between us. Why are you trying to kill me? Chu Xian leaned in close, his voice a chilling whisper. Didn't you just say? The rule of this world is survival of the fittest. Killing someone like you won't even diminish my karma. With a flick of his finger, Chu Xian released Tang Hu into the bubbling cauldron. Tang Hu's screams of agony echoed through them all, fading as his body dissolved into the boiling liquid. Moments later, blue liquid shaped like skulls dripped from the cauldron's edges. Chu Xian watched with gleaming eyes as the refining process began. You're simply perfect for refining into a Yin corpse. The Vajra corpse refining technique of the corpse puppet sect will make you impervious to blades and spears, with immense strength. Once complete, you'll rival a Qi refining stage cultivator. 3 days later, a red hand with sharp claws emerged from the cauldron. Tang Hu had been reborn, a grade 2 corpse soldier with glowing red eyes and a fiery crimson light burning in his stomach. Chu Xian clapped his hands, grinning. I can't believe my first corpse refinement was such a success. Summoning a magical tool in the form of a red tower. Low-grade magical tool, corpse nurturing tower. Used for storing, nurturing, and appraising Yin corpses, Chu Xian shouted. Appraisal! The tool analyzed the new Yin corpse and returned its details. Grade 2 corpse soldier. Innate spells, bloodthirst technique, golden light incantation. Chu Xian couldn't hide his excitement. Not bad! It's not only reached grade 2, but its innate spells complement each other perfectly. This Yin corpse could even rival a Qi refining 4th layer cultivator. He turned to his new creation, a proud smile on his face. I'll call you Xiao Xi. Now go and collect zombie flesh for me. With a growl, Xiao Xi leapt into action, tearing through hordes of zombies with ease. In a flash, he returned with a shopping cart full of zombie corpses, presenting them like groceries. Chu Xian, casually eating ramen, patted Xiao Xi's head. Well done! You've greatly improved my cultivation efficiency. Chu Xian mused to himself. Who would have thought that someone like me, barely surviving in the Tsengshuan continent, would become a powerful figure with life and death at my command in this world? All of this is thanks to the blood mirror that brought me here. His expression darkened slightly as he glanced at the now pitch-black mirror. It's unfortunate that the teleportation stopped working, but no matter. I'll continue to cultivate my demonic arts on this zombie-infested planet. When the time is right, I'll return to the Tsengshuan continent stronger than ever. And with that, the demonic king of 2 worlds plotted his next steps. The Haohai Hotel is where it all begins, a high-rise bloodbath waiting to happen. Here, we find a trembling guy in a green jacket bowing his head trembling in fear. He's stammering apologies to a man who looks like Toji Fushiguro's terrifying long-lost cousin. But he isn't the real boss here though. The real boss is Zhao Hong, the Lingquan gang leader, and let's just say his patience ran out about 3 weeks ago. Zhao Hong, seated like an emperor with his wolf beast by his side and a girl draped on his arm, stares down the green-jacketed fool with a face so serious and a head so shiny it reflects light itself. "You promised me you'd find out what happened to Tang Hu within half a month," he growls, his voice low and menacing. The guy in the green jacket, practically collapsing under the pressure, drops to his knees, begging, "Boss." But Zhao Hong isn't having it. He leans forward, his tone sharp enough to cut steel. "It's already been a month." The room feels like it's shrinking, the air heavy with tension. Zhao's wolf beast steps closer, teeth bared, and the green jacket guy starts babbling like his life depends on it. Because, well, it does. "Boss, I've found out. Brother Hu went missing at Zairanfa Mall, but it's dangerous there. 2 of my men already went missing investigating it, and I think there are advanced zombies there. You can't blame me. Only you, boss, can deal with those." For a moment, it seems like Zhao Hong might spare the guy. He even pets his wolf beast, looking almost thoughtful. "You're right," he says, his voice calm like the eye of a storm. "It's not your fault. After all, you're not a superhuman." Relief floods the green jacket guy's face as he stammers his gratitude. "Thank you, boss. Thank you, boss." But Zhao Hong's calm snaps like a twig. His wolf lunges, jaws snapping, and in moments, the green jacket guy is nothing but a meal. Zhao wipes his hands clean of the useless, ordinary person and turns to his right-hand man, Wang Bao, the one who looks eerily like Toji. "Dead or alive, find him. Take De Huang and Air Hay with you. We're going to Zairanfa Mall." Cut to their tank-like car roaring through the zombie apocalypse. The Linquan gang makes an entrance like a wrecking ball, smashing through hordes of undead like they're nothing but speed bumps. By the time they reach Zairanfa Mall, the parking lot is littered with mangled zombie corpses. But something feels off. The air is too still, too clean. Zhao Hong steps out, his 2 wolf beasts, one gray, one golden, at his side. His eyes narrow as he surveys the scene. "Strange. The zombies here." His voice trails off as he orders his wolves to scout ahead. "You two, go in first and check things out." The beasts obey, their growls echoing through the eerily silent mall. As Zhao follows, a strong, unmistakable scent of blood hits him like a slap. His gaze snaps to a row of metal barrels, and his expression hardens. What the hell are these things? Before he can make sense of it, his golden wolf barks violently, its eyes fixed upward. Zhao looks up and freezes. Dozens of zombie corpses hang from ropes, swinging like grotesque decorations. His lip curls in disgust. What kind of pervert? Is this really something a human could do? Could it be that Tang Hu was defeated here? Wang Bao, ever the loyal second-in-command, looks to his boss for direction. "Boss, what should we do now?" Zhao's face darkens, his aura igniting with a blue flame of pure fury. "Whether it was done by Black Blade Security or someone else," he snarls, "this debt cannot be settled just like that." His voice booms through the mall. "Daring to mess with Zhao Hong's underlings from the Linquan gang is the same as messing with me. I won't rest until I find the culprit and turn them into a dried corpse." Meanwhile, in an entirely different plane of existence, we shift to the MURIM world, a place where spiritual energy flows like a river and grudges are settled with blood. Within a cave on the Tsengshuan continent, a purple glow fills the darkness. Out steps Chu Xian, our boy, looking as fresh as a villain straight out of a power-up montage. He stretches, breathing in the abundant spiritual energy. "I'm back," he declares, his voice dripping with confidence. But of course, trouble is already waiting for him. A group of Shenhuang family goons stands at the ready, swords drawn and eyes burning with vengeance. Their leader snarls, "Chu Xian, you're really running. Last time, you escaped right in front of Xu Shirquan, and we were punished for it. But now, there's no way out." Chu Xian doesn't even flinch. Instead, he smirks, his tone laced with mockery. "A few 5th-level Foundation establishment grunts dare to make noise in front of me? What arrogance." The leader's patience snaps. "Attack!" They roar, and the group surrounds Chu Xian, blades gleaming. Big mistake. Chu Xian's hands move in a blur, and with a sinister grin, he unleashes his upgraded blood steel threads. Long, crimson worms shoot from his palms, tangling the ambushers midair like marionettes in a twisted puppet show. Screams fill the cave as one of them shrieks. "How can this be? Weren't you only at the 4th level of Qi refinement?" Chu Xian laughs darkly. "Your information is outdated. My cultivation has already reached the 6th level of Qi refinement." The leader stares slack-jawed. That's impossible. It's only been 3 days. How can you break through the 6th level?" Chu Xian's mind races. "Wait, 3 days?" He calculates quickly. "I've been inside the Blood Mirror world for a month, yet only 3 days have passed here. The time difference must be about 10 to 1. Out loud though, he's all business. "Let me ask you, besides you few, are there any other reinforcements pursuing me?" Did that foundation establishment master of yours come as well? When his question is met with silence, he tightens his grip on the threads, splitting one poor soul into bloody chunks. Answer me, or this will all be your fate. Terrified, the remaining ambushers spill everything. We're the only ones here. There's no other reinforcements. Master thought a few of us could handle you, so he didn't come. Chu Xian's smile turns cold. Really? Then I don't need to worry. The ambushers dare to hope. You said you'd let us go. But Chu Xian interrupts, his threads slicing through them like a butcher carving meat. Blood splatters the cave walls as he licks the crimson from his hands, a satisfied smirk curling his lips. Did you actually believe that? After all, I'm the ruthless, cold-blooded demon Cultivator. Watching his blood worms devour the remains, Chu Xian reflects on his recent gains. Blood mirror. I only had a single bloodline, and now, not only has my cultivation reached the 6th level of Qi refinement, but I've also mastered the innate technique blood nourishment. On top of that, I have a 3rd level zombie as a trump card. He steps out of the cave, now standing on a cliff overlooking the kingdom below. His gaze sharpens. I must break through the realms even faster to extend my lifespan. The blood furnace on the zombie world provides endless resources, but I still need materials from the Tsengshuan continent. The next time the blood mirror gains energy, I'll have to restock before that. The bustling energy of Tsengshuan market was almost overwhelming, with the air thick with haggling voices and the aroma of rare herbs and exotic wares. Chu Xian strolled through the crowd, his mind preoccupied. He silently calculated his inventory, thinking about the materials he'd gathered for refining the corpse. He had the rare heavenly treasures locked down, but the most essential item? Nowhere to be found in the usual markets. He'd need to dig deeper, find the right channels. His thoughts were abruptly interrupted when his sharp eyes caught something familiar glinting under the sun at a vendor's stall. His heart skipped a beat. What the hell? That's the Wuji Sects token, the withered bone. His eyes narrowed as he approached the vendor, his face a careful mask of indifference. Fellow Taoist, he said casually. How much for one of those Tsilong melons over there? The vendor, a rough-looking guy with a slick, gangster-like expression, glanced at him lazily. 7. No, 2 small spirit stones each. Chu Xian raised an eyebrow, incredulous. 2? What, is the melon skin made of gold, or is the flesh gold? You running a luxury market here? The vendor smirked. You think it's expensive? I think it's expensive too. But these melons? They're scavenged directly from the ruins of the Wuji sect. You won't find these anywhere else. Pick one for me. Chu Xian ordered, his tone sharp. The vendor grabbed a melon and handed it to him. Chu Xian inspected it, his expression critical. Does this ripen well? What about the seeds? The vendor looked slightly annoyed. I run a herb stand, not a melon farm. How should I know? Chu Xian's gaze darkened. I'm asking you, does it ripen well? The tension was palpable, and the vendor's demeanor shifted. He lowers his voice. If you're willing to pay top price, I've got even better quality stock in the warehouse out back. All right, Chu Xian said, his voice low but firm. Take me there. Once in front of his house, the vendor's tone became respectful. May I ask which senior brother I have the honor of speaking to? Chu Xian removed his hat, revealing his identity. Chu Xian. The vendor's eyes widened in disbelief. Senior brother Chu? It's really you. I'm Chen Long. I joined the Wuji sect in the same batch as you. You probably don't remember me, but I've always admired you. Among us grassroots outer disciples, you were the one who stood out the most. I never thought I'd be exchanging secret signals with the legendary senior brother Chu. Chen Long practically buzzed with excitement, circling Chu Xian like an overzealous fanboy. Uncle Lu and the other senior brothers are hiding in the Wu family manor in Taiping Town. When we heard 3 days ago that you killed that traitor He Liang, it gave everyone hope. You're a legend, senior brother. Chu Xian scoffed, his tone cold. So the 3rd elder's direct disciple, Uncle Lu Jinxiong, is still alive, hiding in plain sight within Shigang sect territory. Clever. No wonder they haven't found him. Chen Long's enthusiasm didn't waver. Senior brother Chu, you should join us. Us Wuji sect cultivators need to stick together now more than ever. Chu Xian waved him off. I'm just here to buy something. Chen Long's face fell slightly, but he composed himself. What are you looking for? I need a blood transformation grand array. The words hit the air like a hammer, and Chen Long froze, his face twisting in shock and horror. What? Chu Xian remained unfazed as he explained. The blood melting formation is a tool often used by demonic cultivators for large-scale blood sacrifices. It's infamous for its ability to refine the 10,000 souls blood pearl, used to lay a powerful foundation. There was even a demonic sect leader who once sacrificed 300,000 lives to cast a citywide blood melting formation. It's simple yet devastating, capable of mass murder even when wielded by someone in the chi refining stage. But, and here, his voice dropped chillingly, I'm not planning anything that extreme. I'd deploy it on a zombie-infested planet, no harm to the heavens, and it might even earn me some merit. Qianlong looked pale, his voice trembling. Brother Chu, the 5 major sects are cracking down hard on anything related to demonic arts. If you activate that formation, they'll come for you. Chu Xian's gaze hardened. That's not your concern. Do you have it or not? Qianlong hesitated before mumbling. I know someone who does. They soon arrived at a secret Wuji sect stronghold, where a towering, jacked man stood like a sentinel. Su Ming, once ranked 11th among the inner disciples, greeted them with a sneer. The blood-melting formation? Yeah, I have it. But why should I sell it to you, Chu Xian? Chu Xian's eyes narrowed, his thoughts racing. Of course, it had to be Su Ming. They'd butted heads plenty in the past over resources, and it was clear Su Ming was relishing the thought of seeing him fail. But not this time. Chu Xian reached into his bag and pulled out his trump card, an entire sack of glimmering blood pearls. Qianlong and Su Ming's jaws dropped. Blood pearls? So many? How many lives were sacrificed for this? Another voice chimed in, dripping with awe. To refine this many blood pearls under the Shigang sect's watch, Junior Brother Chu's power has surpassed all of ours. It was Wei Hua, ranked 12th among the inner disciples. Su Ming's thoughts churned with frustration. Damn Chu Xian, always outshining him. Fine, he sneered. 200 blood pearls, and the formation is yours. Chu Xian gave a cold laugh. Greedy, aren't we? Wei Hua stepped in, his tone reasonable. A basic formation like this used to go for 80 blood pearls tops. Su Ming, we're all from the same sect. This is unreasonable. But Su Ming wasn't backing down. Even between brothers, accounts need to be settled clearly. I'm the only one with the blood-melting formation, and without it. Chu Xian cut him off, his voice laced with quiet menace. Su Ming, are you misunderstanding something? That formation is worthless if you can't use it, which means it's already devalued. Meanwhile, you're desperate for blood pearls to fend off chi deviation. So tell me, who's the one really in need here? Su Ming's bravado cracked. Fine. 80 blood pearls. 60. Chu Xian countered. Su Ming bristled. Why are you still haggling? If you won't sell, I'll leave. Chu Xian said flatly, turning to go. Wait. Su Ming practically panicked. Fine, 50. Chu Xian smirked, handing over 60 blood pearls. You're wise to agree. The blood-melting formation was his, and Xian wasn't about to let anyone take it. In his mind, he was already scheming. He had plenty of blood pearls left, so why not offer a little more goodwill? Chu Xian spoke up, his tone calm but firm. Senior Brother Wei Hua, if you want the remaining blood pearls, you can exchange them with me for spirit stones. The brunette's eyes lit up, clearly struggling to hide his desperation. Well, thank you, Junior Brother Chu. We're currently in dire need of blood pearls. These things are worth more than gold on the market. With a smirk and a quick dab of his hands, Xian made the deal. 30 small spirit stones for them at a premium. The brunette added, sealing the exchange. Xian's mind was racing as he pocketed his newfound resources. With these, when he returned to that godforsaken doomsday planet, he'd be able to skyrocket his cultivation. He could already taste the power. As the brunette and the melon guy, his other junior, bid him farewell, the brunette hesitated, his voice laced with concern. Junior Brother Chu, you really won't stay and join us? He's been good to us, and he's extremely powerful. Having him is better than any other candidate. Chu Xian tilted his hat down slightly, his expression unreadable. Inwardly, though, his thoughts were sharp and unyielding. Fortune and misfortune were intertwined. Lu Shihe's immense strength was a double-edged sword. It would draw the attention of the righteous sections. No need, he said flatly, the words carrying an air of finality. Suddenly, a commanding voice broke the tension. You stop right there! A soldier strode forward, his demeanor cold and authoritative. We are acting under the orders of the Shingang sect elders. The Wu family might be harboring survivors from the Wuji sect, so we are here to investigate. The brunette froze, his voice trembling slightly. 7th level of chi refining. Melon Guy's face paled. Even if the 4 of us join forces, we're no match. Chu Xian's expression darkened as he weighed his options. He could escape easily, but these fellow disciples? They'd be slaughtered. Should he intervene? Before he could decide, Jack Guy emerged from the shadows, his voice dripping with malice. Fellow Taoist, the one wearing the conical hat is the demonic cultivator you're after. Chu Xian. The betrayal hit like a thunderclap. The brunette clenched his teeth. Su Ming you. But the damage was done. Chu Xian slowly removed his hat, his eyes burning with anger and a tinge of regret. I'm still not ruthless enough, he muttered. Su Ming had tricked him again, and now, He had no choice. Tossing his hat aside, his true identity was revealed. Melon Guy's jaw dropped. What? The brunette's voice was a mix of fear and resolve. Senior Brother Wei, Junior Brother Chin, we've been exposed. Retreat quickly, and I will cover you. Don't hesitate, he barked. The main force will likely arrive soon. Go and inform Uncle Lu to relocate. As the two fled, the brunette called back, his voice filled with gratitude. Brother Chu, your righteousness will not be forgotten. A soldier moved to chase them, but his commander held him back. Don't bother chasing. He's the same Chu Xian who escaped from Uncle Sunshire's hands last time. His head is worth far more than those nobodies. The commander turned to face Chu Xian, a mocking smile on his lips. I didn't expect you, a demonic cultivator, to sacrifice yourself for others? Chu Xian's eyes narrowed. Demonic cultivators prioritize profit. They're not difficult to kill. Perhaps keeping them alive could bring me greater benefits in the future. Why wouldn't I take advantage of that? The commander sneered. Ha, with your lowly cultivation level, what future do you have? Drawing his blade, he lunged forward, only to be stopped in his tracks. Blood worms surged from Chu Xian's palm, snaking toward the blade and rendering it useless. The soldiers around him faltered, their confidence waning. This guy, he's stronger than expected. Two soldiers moved to flank him from behind, but Chu Xian's magical tower emerged, its blood-red claws tearing through their defenses with ease. The commander's confidence faltered as he stared at Chu Xian, his voice trembling slightly. What kind of monster are you? Chu Xian smirked coldly. Ridiculous. As a demonic cultivator, how could I not have some trump cards up my sleeve? Now it's your turn. Let's hope your storage pouch won't disappoint me. Meanwhile, at the Wu family's separate residence, chaos was brewing. Lu Jinxiong, the elder of the Wuji sect. What? You left Chu Xian there alone? Even though we are demonic cultivators, the sect has been destroyed. Now we're all in the same boat. His stern gaze bore into the jacked guy who had betrayed Xian. Besides, Chu Xian is one of the top 10 inner disciples and should be a great help. We should be united in this. The jacked guy stammered his excuse. This disciple was also forced by the situation. If not, we all would have been wiped out. Lu Jinxiong wasn't convinced but didn't have time to argue. There's no time to say more. I sensed the aura of a Foundation establishment cultivator approaching, likely coming for me. The tension was palpable as the melon guy stepped forward. We will stay and stand with Uncle Master. But Lu Jinxiong shook his head. No, with your current cultivation level, staying will be useless. You are the hope of the Wuji sect's revival. Your safety is the priority. I will hold them off here. His voice carried the weight of finality. Hear my command, all disciples, disperse and retreat immediately. Regroup at White Mang Mountain. The disciples hesitated, their voices filled with reluctance. Yes. Suddenly, an old man appeared, standing on his flying sword with a look of cold disdain. His chi radiated with deadly intent. Lu Jinxiong, so you were hiding here? He sneered, charging his chi power into his finger. At a time like this, you're still thinking of protecting these demon spawn? Haha. Don't worry, my people have completely locked down Qinghe City. None of them will escape. Panic spread among the Wuji sect disciples as they scattered in every direction. Back at Typing Square, the brunette, melon guy, and jacked guy stumbled upon a grisly scene. The ground was littered with the corpses of Xunli sect cultivators. The brunette's voice trembled. Those are actually the corpses of those Xunli sect cultivators. Is there anyone in Qinghe City who could have done this? Melon guy's voice wavered with hope. Could it be Senior Brother Chu? The jack guy scoffed, his tone dripping with disbelief. Are you joking? Judging by the condition of the bodies, they were clearly killed in an instant. It would take at least a chi refining stage level 8 cultivator to do that. How could it have been him? The brunette pointed toward the distance. Let's not worry about that now. The enemy didn't leave but instead died here. More pursuers will likely be drawn soon. Everyone, make the most of the time we have and evacuate quickly. Near Taiping Mountain, the remnants of the Wuji sect huddled together in the dense forest, their breaths shallow, their gazes darting at every rustle of the leaves. Tension hung heavy in the air until the melon guy's voice broke the silence. Uncle Master Lu is back. His relief was palpable, but that relief turned to horror when they saw Lu Jinxiong stumble into view, his left arm bloodied and limp. Uncle Master! Someone cried out in alarm. Another disciple rushed forward, already calling for a healer, but Lu waved him off, his voice steady despite the pain. I'm fine. It's unavoidable to suffer some injuries during an escape. His face worn but his eyes sharp as ever. But you all! Qinghe City was completely surrounded by Xunli sect forces, yet you managed to escape without losing a single person. It's truly fortunate. The brunette stepped forward, bowing deeply. Thanks to the sect's protection, the disciples managed to leave without obstruction. Even the 3 Xunli sect disciples originally stationed there were killed by someone. The mention of this unexpected event made Lu raise an eyebrow. Something like this happened? Could it be a wandering expert passing by? He sat down on a fallen tree. His tone was contemplative, though his body remained tense as a disciple wrapped bandages around his injured arm. Then, his gaze sharpened. Where is Chu Xian? The brunette hesitated, guilt flickering in his eyes. This disciple doesn't know. In the rush, I didn't spot Brother Chu Xian. Su Ming, the jacked guy, crossed his arms with a scoff. Chu Xian is only at the 4th level of Qi refining. Facing 3 opponents, he probably got reduced to ashes. His voice was cold, uncaring. But the melon guy wasn't having it. Su Ming, this is all your fault for getting senior brother Chu killed, and you still have the nerve to speak? His fist clenched as he glared at Su Ming, who merely shrugged. Lu Jinxiong rubbed his chin thoughtfully. Chu Xian. I recall him. He's the one who's been ranked 10th in the inner sect for years. His aptitude may be ordinary, but he's very clever. He might not have met with misfortune. His sharp gaze turned to Wei Hua, the brunette. Wei Hua, once things calm down, take some people to gather information on him. If you find him, bring him to join us. It's good to have some support. Since the sect's destruction, he's been wandering alone. I can't imagine how difficult things must be for him now. Meanwhile, Chu Xian wasn't exactly struggling. In a dimly lit cavern, he sat cross-legged, grinning from ear to ear as he counted his spoils. Ha ha ha, life is really getting better and better. He chuckled, his voice echoing in the cavern. 800 low-grade spirit stones, 2 mid-grade spirit stones. Spirit gathering formation and maze formation, suitable for setting up a cave dwelling. His fingers traced the edge of a small black flag, his smile turning wicked. Surprisingly, there's even a 10,000 souls banner. This is a notorious evil sect treasure. It's extremely harmful to one's karma. This mid-grade 10,000 souls banner must have required the slaughter of countless beings and the extraction of their souls to be refined. A righteous cultivator from the Xunli sect, actually greedy for its power, secretly kept it and refined it in the dark. His gaze darkened as he held the banner up to the dim light. However, it's perfect for me to take to the zombie planet, where there are plenty of zombies for me to extract souls from. Once the 10,000 souls banner is fully refined, tens of millions of ferocious ghosts will rise like a tide, becoming a powerful trump card. With a satisfied sigh, he stood up, stretching his arms. The items I need are all gathered. The blood mirror has been fully charged too. It's time to head back. With a flick of his wrist, he summoned the magical mirror, a portal of swirling purple energy opening before him. Zombie planet, here I come! On the other side, however, he was greeted with a scene that made his jaw clench. Smoke billowed from what remained of his base. The barrels of supplies he'd so painstakingly gathered reduced to ash. He crouched by the smoldering remains, his voice low and seething. Let me calculate the time. I should have left here about 2 months ago. But things shouldn't have turned out this way. His eyes narrowed as he inspected the damage. Corpses wouldn't do something like this. Someone deliberately set the fire. If I had known, I would have refined a few more corpses to guard the place. His fist tightened, his teeth grinding in frustration. My snack reserves, all burned to ashes. Whoever did this didn't even come here to loot supplies. They just set a fire for no damn reason? Summoning his magic tower, he called out. Xiaohu, report to me. Come here. Elsewhere, a couple knelt on the ground before Toji, their faces pale with terror. Don't kill us. We really haven't seen anyone going in or out of the mall. The boyfriend pleaded, his voice shaking. Toji's sneer was almost predatory as he stepped closer to the girl, licking his lips. Oh no, perhaps there's still some use for you after all. The girlfriend's eyes widened in horror. No, please, she begged, her voice cracking. Before Toji could lay a hand on her, a massive shadow loomed over him. He turned slowly, his confidence evaporating as he stared up at Xiaohu, who towered over him like death itself. The couple didn't waste a second, scrambling to their feet and running as fast as they could. It's a high-level zombie, the boyfriend shouted in panic, his voice fading into the distance. Xiaohu leaned down toward Toji, mimicking the predator's earlier movements, and karma hit like a truck. Toji's legs shook as he stammered. No, don't. But then his eyes focused on the zombie's face, recognition dawning too late. Wait, this zombie. Tang Hu. His words were cut off as Xiaohu grabbed him by the collar like a ragdoll, slung him over his shoulder, and dashed away, leaving a trail of smoke in his wake. Toji's scream was more pathetic than anything. Ow! Where are you taking me? Where are you going? Xiaohu didn't answer, of course, but when they arrived at Chu Xian's hideout, Toji was unceremoniously slammed to the ground, his head pinned under Xiaohu's massive hand. Chu Xian turned, his eyes lighting up with amusement. "How you're back so soon, Xiaohu?" He patted his undead companion affectionately, as if he were a loyal dog. Toji, trembling on the ground, stammered, "Who are you? And why can you control Brother Hu?" Chu Xian tilted his head, unimpressed. "So what if I can? You know Xiaohu? Could it be that you're also part of the same gang? Was it your people who burned down this place too?" Toji, shaking but still have the balls to say, "Yes, so what about it?" Chu Xian's expression darkened, his tone turning icy. "I haven't caused any trouble here yet, but instead, others have already troubled me." His eyes glowed crimson as his aura intensified. "If I want to cultivate in peace in this world, I'll have to deal with these annoying little dogs first." He leaned in, his voice dripping with malice. "I just wonder how much corpse refining material they can provide me." Toji's voice cracked as he asked, "Corpse refining? What does that mean?" Chu Xian smirked. "How about you first tell me all the intel you have on the gang?